Saddle position is a major factor in bike setup, and getting it right can mean the difference between a comfortable ride and sheer agony. This information applies to road and mountain bikes. So, whatever you ride, stay tuned and we'll show you how it's done. It's important to set your saddle height so there's a small bend in your leg at the bottom of the pedal stroke. Wearing your riding shoes. This can be quickly approximated by setting the top of the saddle to the height of your hip. Some seat posts have a quick release clamp, while others will require a hex key for adjustment. Mountain bikers tend to adjust their saddle heights frequently to compensate for terrain changes, but road riders will usually leave theirs in the most efficient position possible. If you want to know how to do your own road bike fit, then click above or look for the link in the video description. Most saddles are mounted to the seat post via rails that attach to a clamp. The clamp usually consists of a metal plate and either 1 or 2 bolts that clamp it to the top of the seat post. In order to move and adjust the saddle, you need to loosen these bolts. Using a hex key, simply undo the bolts. If you wind them out too far, you can separate them from the clamp and will need to reassemble. So just wind them until the saddle comes loose. There are 2 directional adjustments you can make. The first is nose position. If you are unsure of nose position, set the saddle so it's horizontal when the bike is standing on a flat surface. To adjust the nose position, you simply need to lift the saddle and hold it in place while you re-tighten the clamp bolts. Only minor adjustments should be made, but it's worth experimenting with a few degrees if you aren't comfortably perched. The other adjustment you can make to saddle position is sliding it forward and back on the rails. This can have a more dramatic effect on your riding position as it affects your reach. In turn, this can lead to pain or injury if you aren't particularly flexible in the lower back. To adjust the saddle position, simply undo the clamp and slide the saddle forwards or backwards on the rails. Most saddles will have limited range, so pay attention to the markings on the side of the rails. Retightening the bolts isn't always as simple as it would appear. If there are 2 bolts on the clamp, you'll need to balance the tension, as each will pull the saddle up or down. Wind in one bolt until it offers resistance. Then tighten the other, thus balancing the force between the 2. If there's a single bolt, the clamp will have grooves that interlock, so manually pinching the clamp together will hold it in place while you tighten the bolt. As with most bolts, over-tightening can mean they snap or shear. If you have access to a torque wrench, it's a good idea to use it. If you don't, then tighten roughly to the same tension you'd use to open a stiff door handle. Don't forget to subscribe and check out the rest of the channel. Let us know what you want more of on your BikeRadar.